Hello, people. It's your boy Osman. Manchester United have signed the Brazilian Antony from Ajax. You'll love to see it. The deal is finally done. It's finally over the line. Here we go. Come on. Finally, the guy that I have wanted on a personal level. If you know me, you know that I have wanted this guy for a long time. The entirety of this window, I have been screaming Antony's name. Please bring Antony. And then I fared away because I was like, the money's too much. What are we doing is too much money. But guess what? I could not care less because Antony is a Manchester United player. Finally, Eric Ten Hag gets his man. You love to see it. We have got Ilyas here in the chat, who is a Liverpool fan, already saying Diaz is clear. Listen, Ilyas, first and foremost, shout out to you for having notification bells on. I appreciate you. But listen, this isn't even about Diaz. I don't care about Diaz. I actually got Diaz in my FPL team, Ilyas. I rate him highly. So he's in my team, bro. So, you know, it is what it is. I rate him highly. But listen, it's not about Liverpool. It's about Man United. And I'm absolutely elated. Slap like if you are happy with the signing. So to thy channel, we are on the road to 1.5k subscribers. We have also, just before I get carried away, we are also doing a charity stream. By we, I mean myself. I'm going to be doing a charity stream to raise money for Pakistan. In case you are not aware, sadly, there has been a massive flood in Pakistan and a lot of people have lost their lives. So hopefully in the next couple of days, I'm probably going to be uploading every single day this week. Maybe every day, 7 o'clock. I've not really decided on the time, but inshallah, every day this week that's coming up from Monday to Friday, I'm going to be uploading a video. If it's a watch along, if it's a video or podcast, whatever it may be, I will be uploading to try and raise money for Pakistan. Obviously, I probably should have put the link in the description. I probably will do that after the video. So if you want to donate, please do so. If you haven't already, feel free to follow me on Twitter, which is right here, because I am tweeting out the link and obviously trying my best to raise money for Pakistan in any way, shape, or form. So yeah, I just wanted to get that out of the way. Every single day I will be streaming at 7 o'clock by the looks of it. Watch alongs, that kind of thing, to try and do my best to raise money. So I just want to get that out of the way from the get-go to let you guys know my intentions. We're trying to make a difference, inshallah, with my platform. I know it's a huge platform, but I'm going to try my best regardless of that. Let's just get a couple of your comments in. Please do get your comments in. Obviously, slap a like. It helps the brother out a lot. And obviously, I appreciate everyone showing love in the chat. So first things first, Ilyas, obviously, after that Diaz comment, special, I appreciate you. James is in the building, one of my regular viewers from Day. James, James, I need to hear from you because you have been criticizing Rashford for as long as I've known you, for at least a good 3 years. So James, I need to know your thoughts. How are you feeling about this signing? Because I know you're not a big fan of Rashford. EGTV in the building, shout out to you boys. Obviously, you guys are doing unbelievable work. Big price tag, mate. Facts. It is a very big price tag. That is one of the reasons I wasn't really sure about this deal, to be quite frank honest with you, because for me, big price tag means massive pressure. I don't think he's going to have the grace period to actually embed himself into the Premier League and obviously have that period to adapt. Because of the price tag, you've seen with Darwin Núñez already. Liverpool, me included, been pushing agenda since day dot on Darwin Núñez. But that's because of the price tag. If he came for 40 million, I won't be doing that because obviously, you know, 40 million isn't a huge price tag. But 100 million, it's a lot of money. It is actually 84 million pounds. But again, everyone doesn't care about that, which is fine. But yeah, for me personally, he can't control the price tag. I just hope Eric Ten Hag sees enough in him in terms of his ceiling. But for me personally, as someone who's seen him here and there or enough, you know, I'm absolutely elated with this hand. You saw from yesterday's game or the day before, we massively needed a winger. I think it was yesterday. Yeah, it was yesterday. Our game, where we won 1-0. I don't even know where we forgot. It's an absolute blur. Who did we play? Oh God, who did we beat? 1-0. Southampton. That's it is. Yeah, our game against Southampton. You saw the lack of quality in the final third, and that was every single player. That was, you know, we're missing that extra bit of spot, that extra bit of finesse, and Antony definitely brings that to the table. He's got the capabilities of beating a man first and foremost, but he has that Joga Bonito. He's Brazilian or with an actual Brazilian passport, but he's the kind of player you want on your team. Every team needs Antony in their team because he's the one that gets you off the seat. He's the one that gets you off your seat, like I just said. But he's the bum raiser. He's the one that makes man stand up. And that's what you need when you're watching a game. You need these men to just elevate the game, firstly, but secondly, to give you a bit of excitement when you're watching the game. You pass them the ball, something might happen. And for me personally, we haven't had enough of that. Rashford was that guy initially, but for whatever reason, he's lost his capabilities or his confidence to get the ball and run at players and be direct. And Antony has the capabilities of doing that and also being a creative winger. He has a good variety of playing. I'm a big fan of his in terms of his potential. I'm a big believer of his potential. I believe in his capabilities to elevate his game and actually be a proper out and out top class winger. But for me personally, one thing I will say is, as EGTV said, shout out to you, bro, the price tag is extremely astronomical. There's no doubt about it. There's no getting away from it. We are paid at least 20 million more. And when I said 20 million, I mean British pounds more. He was probably worth 50 to 60 million at a push. 60 million pound at a very push is his worth. But for me personally, he's worth 50 million. I think that would have been a realistic price, and we've paid almost double what he's worth. And that's a ridiculous thing, but that is Manchester United Football Club. We've done it for Maguire, we've done it for Wan-Bissaka, we've done it for, I mean, you could probably throw Pogba in there as well, Lukaku, etc., etc. We've done it a lot, and this is the issue that a lot of people are saying, you know, Manchester not learning from the lessons. And I hear that. I hear why people are saying that. And for me personally, it'll be interesting to see how he fares, because at the moment, with Ten Hag signings, obviously they needed a bit of a bedding period and still need that period, of course. But they've been fairly good. You know, Malaysia has hit the ground running. Martinez has started to find his form and find his feet. The last two games in particular, he's been man of the match in both, but he's been fantastic. But for me, Antony, as a winger, you are very much judged on GA. And at the moment, all of our attackers are not performing to the standards of Manchester United Football Club. For me personally, we've been extremely poor so far this season. Although the last two games we've got wins. I mean, the Liverpool game we were good, obviously, but the game against Southampton, I don't think we were that good personally. I thought, as I've already said, we were lacking a bit of quality, and hopefully Antony comes in and changes that. But there's going to be pressure on him to hit the ground running, and it'll be interesting to see how he fares with that. For me personally, like I said, he's gonna get us off our seats, and that's something that I've missed at Manchester United. That player that you can pass the ball to and they can potentially create something out of nothing. He's a match winner. He's just got that Brazilian flair, man. It's just Joga Benito. When he does that Neymar touch under the lights at Old Trafford, I'm gonna be gassed. I'm gonna be absolutely gassed. I'm gonna be screaming like a little girl still. But listen, let's get some more of your comments in. My feeling 6 and 7 sign come. What does that mean? Welcome, baby Antony, Man United. Abdullah in the chat here. What do you mean by this? Am I feeling 6? Oh, is that your rating out of 10? But let's get James's thoughts. Great signing. Pay too much, never worth 84 million, but better than Rashford. Oh, fair enough. I mean, I'll take that. But listen, I just want to say, keep slapping the like on the video. If you're watching this on repeat, please continue to support the channel. As I said, I will be doing charity streams all week, so we need as much support as we possibly can to try and raise money for the less fortunate in Pakistan. But yeah, coming back to the signing itself, look, I understand the sentiment. For me, 84 million, extremely extortionate. But what does he bring to the team? As I've already said, he brings his capabilities to run at players first and foremost. For me, that is one of the things that we are lacking currently. He's got that confidence in him. He's got that sort of attitude, that swagger that we're missing at the moment. And he's got that arrogance about him. He actually thinks and believes, I said thinks, but he believes in his abilities. And you see that on the football pitch because he's constantly expressing himself in the manner in which he plays. He plays that Neymar, not to say he's anywhere near Neymar. If he's half the player Neymar ever is, I'll be extremely happy and I'll be elated with the signing. He'll be a good player. But he just brings something different, man. A completely different dimension. Ten Hag wanted him. He's Ten Hag's guy. Like I said, he's already brought Martinez in, and he's been a revelation thus far. Hopefully, he can be someone to come in and really shake up the team. And most importantly, give a bit of competition to Rashford, give a bit of competition to Sancho, Elanga, Martial, etc., and whoever else is playing on the wings. Because at the moment, I don't think the fear for their place, and that's something that should never be the case at Manchester United Football Club. They're extremely complacent. I don't think Sancho's hit the ground running this season either. I know he got a goal against Liverpool, but both him and Rashford, for me personally, have been too inconsistent. Sancho actually at the moment is struggling with the fitness. He has to keep getting substituted off because obviously the high intensity that Ten Hag is trying to get out of these players. Sancho still is a way off. Obviously playing the 90 minutes under Ten Hag, which is fine. Obviously these things will come in time. But for me personally, to bring Antony off the bench potentially in the next game against Leicester, I don't know if he'll be ready for that one. But to bring a player of that caliber off the bench is going to be a different buzz. I mean, compared to Elanga, I mean, yeah, it's night and day. At the end of the day, no disrespect to Elanga, but he's just saying that guy, man. And Antony has that sauce. He has that sauce, the missing ingredients. But yeah, as I said, the players' complacency is definitely sneaking in particular with Rashford and Sancho. I think both of them need to feel that their position is in threat consistently for them to perform at a high level. And some would say that's not the right mentality to have, but that's just the nature of the beast that we are currently dealing with. And for me personally, another player to compete with them is a blessing. At the end of the day, yes, the price is too much. But we need these players to be worrying about their position week in, week out, game in, game out. There should be no one playing for Manchester United thinking my place is safe. Now with Antony there, Rashford and Sancho are both going to be looking over their shoulder. But if they're not pulling their weight, they're going to get dropped. We've already seen with Maguire, we've already seen with Luke Shaw, and other players. Ronaldo, I suppose you can throw him in there as well. You know, if you're not performing to a standard, Ten Hag will drop you, and hopefully that continues. Because for me, I think it's the right mentality to have, and I think every single player needs to be feeling for the players. That is the mentality that we want, and hopefully Antony increases that bit of fear in those players' eyes, because they've been getting away with putting mediocre performances in way too long. My feeling we said, oh sorry, there we go. My feel we signed 6 or 7 players after Antony. Yeah, Abdullah, me and you both. I'm very happy with Antony finding a left-footed right winger who is a proper bowler. We still need a striker who can play with his back to goal. Great comment here by Akil, as always. Make sure you keep slapping the like, people. Obviously, when I do these one-to-one shows, I want to be as interactive as possible. So please keep getting your comments in. Any questions, anything you want to ask as well. But keep getting your comments in. Obviously, the whole reason I do these one-to-one shows is can I be more interactive with you guys, the audience, which is the main thing for me with this channel. I want to try and build a community as much as I can. But yeah, just to come to Akil's point here, we'll leave it on the screen. Look, I haven't even mentioned that, which is something that's I've completely forgotten. The importance of finally having a left footer on the right wing. Of course, we had one prior, but he's an absolute scum of the earth. So thou shalt not be named, of course. But we finally got someone. We finally got someone who's got the capabilities to play on the right wing, cut in, and obviously shoot with the left foot. For balance purposes, first and foremost, it's extremely integral to have that. But for me personally, again, different dimension, different kind of footballer. And he's a proper baller, as Akil said, man. He's a technical player as well. He's got the vision. One thing I will say is what I noticed about him a lot in the last couple of months, Ajax, obviously towards the back end of the season when he was playing, was he was starting to get himself in positions where he can actually score goals more. That was one of my criticism of him. He wasn't really finding himself in scenarios where he's scoring enough goals. Obviously, statistically, he hasn't been great. Obviously, a lot of people, like I already said, will judge him on GA rather than his performances. What I will say is, in terms of statistics, he will obviously have to improve that. But if he continues to get himself into positions where he can score goals, it's good to see that he's got that hunger for obviously finding the back of the net now, and hopefully can build on that. His relationship with Erik Ten Hag quite clearly is very good already, which is a massive bonus. He knows how Ten Hag wants him to play. He knows exactly what to expect from Ten Hag, and these are massive positives. A lot of people are criticizing Ten Hag for going back to tried and tested players, but for me, that's the right thing for him to do. At the end of the day, these players know exactly what Ten Hag demands in this very rigorous system. I've already mentioned with Sancho, he's extremely fatigued at the moment, but in general, he's struggling massively to play a full 90 minutes under Ten Hag because he demands a lot from his players, and obviously Sancho is still adjusting to that and still trying to get his fitness up. So for me personally, there's a lot of positives, the price tag being the main negative, but apart from that, I can't really see any other negatives. Obviously, maybe that's just me being extremely naive. I suppose you could say there are other sort of cause concerns. How is he going to adapt to the league? Statistically, he's not done it at Eredivisie. How is he going to do the Premier League? These are all obviously fair shouts and fair claims that I will completely understand from rivals or just Man United fans in general in terms of concern. But what I will say is he's still very young. He's extremely young, if I'm not mistaken, 22 or 23. Quite clearly, he wanted this move to Manchester United. He's hungry to be successful. And like I said, he's got that swagger and that confidence and somewhat arrogance about him. What we missed, you want that on a football pitch. You want someone who gets the ball and has that sort of swagger about him and thinks he can do whatever he wants on the football pitch. And that's something that we have missed since the early days of Ronaldo and Nani and, that sort of period of time. So for me personally, I'm absolutely buzzing. Connect, sorry that I'm late. I hope everyone's good. Shout out to you, bro. Thank you as always for coming through. I appreciate the support, my guy. Who will bring a lot to the team, but I think he's for the culture shock. He is in for a culture shock. There's no denying that. I think Martin is, as I've already mentioned, has somewhat done really well to adapt to the difference in culture. But I think Martinez, players like him were made for the Premier League. It'll be interesting to see how Antony fares with the physicality of the league. Of course, notoriously, the Premier League is probably the most physical league, if not the most physical league from any of the top leagues in Europe. So it'll be intriguing to see how it fares. But for me personally, look, he wanted the move. He pushed for the move. Positive sides, I suppose people say, is extremely unprofessional, which is fair. But for me personally, a player that wants to be at Manchester United and knows the manager and is willing to run through a bit of walls for him can only be a positive. And as already said, there's more positives than negatives. The main negatives are the price tag. And is he going to sort of be able to adapt? But like I said, you've already got Rashford and Sancho there. This is another option for us, and I think it's going to be extremely important that we continue to build the attack and continue to put pressure on each other. Akil sent Depay next, please. Look, for me personally, right, regarding the Depay thing, I think I'd take him 100%. Like, I know a lot of people aren't going to agree with that, and I'll put it on Twitter, and some people have agreed, some people haven't. But for me, Depay on a free is an absolute no-brainer. I've got to be honest, I'm really surprised that we're not all over that. I understand that, if we keep Ronaldo, it might be a bit tricky to fit all these guys in. Well, we need options, and Depay on a free is a viable option. We could always sell him next season. It's a free. We can sell him next season for 5 to 10 million easy, without a shadow of a doubt. So yeah, for me personally, I would take a punt on him. I know people don't like us buying players back that we've had on previous years. I get it. Quite clearly, we've not got a great track record of bringing players back. I understand that. But regarding Depay, he was extremely young at Manchester United, man. He was a young lad, 21, early 20s, if not 19. I can't remember exactly how old he was when he was at Man United initially, but he was a young lad. And obviously since then, he's changed a lot in terms of his confidence. He's bulked up a lot as well, to be fair to him. And overall play has improved as well. For me, he's got ability to link up nicely with the current players that we've got at Manchester United, and he's got goals in him. So for me, it would be a great addition to the squad on a free. Like I said, low risk, but it depends what his situation is. Is he wanting to be a squad player? Does he want to start week in, week out? Of course, that would potentially stop me from getting him if he has that anticipation. So not anticipation, that's not the right word, but if he has the thought that I want to start week in, week out, I don't think we can guarantee. Well, no, we can't guarantee him that. Actually, none of our players should be guaranteed that from now on. Sancho, Rashford, Ronaldo, Martial, whoever it may be, and Antony as well. None of them should be guaranteed first team football. And that goes for the defense. That goes for the midfield. That goes for every single player in the team. If you're not pulling your weight, that's it. Simple as that. It should be dropped. It's as simple as that. No favoritism. FC. Good riddance to that. Please just play players on merit. If they're playing well, keep him in the team. If they're not performing, give somebody else a chance. It's as simple as that for me. Enough of this favoritism. Yes, I've had enough of it. And that goes for everyone. Like I said, look, it's not about me having an agenda against a certain player or he's my favorite player. Simple as that. If you're not pulling your weight, sit on the bench or get sold. One or the other. But yeah, we'll have to wait and see. When is the last time we had a proper Brazilian samba footballers back at the theatre? Listen, I'm absolutely buzzing. Joga Benito at the theatre, dreams. Listen, when he hits that flip flap, and the first name I touch, I'm going to be gassed, man. Come on, Casemiro and Antony. Great 2 additions, I must say. Look, fantastic signings, both of them. Spent a lot of money on these players, by the way. Obviously, this now will put pressure on the management to potentially deliver. I've already seen rival fans and mates of mine, the rival fan podcast lads, they're already saying Manchester United should be getting top 4 with the money that's spent, and I understand that. This is a big signing for us. I must say, this is a very big signing for us in terms of the money. On top of Casemiro as well. I mean, they've backed him. They have backed him. The only thing really missing is a centre mid. Obviously, you could say right back and goalkeeper, of course, as well, and a striker, actually. So technically, we need 4 more players. But I think, is that our 6th signing now? A 5th or 6th? Might be 5th. I feel like it's our 5th signing. But if to get one more, centre mid, preferably for me, or Depay. Depay in the centre mid now would be absolute sensation. I'll be extremely happy with that. Obviously, still Glazers are. I hate them scoring. They need to go in that. But it would be a fairly strong window, and obviously Ten Hag would have to somewhat produce something this season. But yeah, we'll have to wait and see. Depay in a free or even 10 is a bargain as a squad player. Yeah, on a free, yes. Sancho is on fraud watch. He seems to have put on some weight, goes missing the game because he needs to Prado. I don't know about the weight comment, I must say, bro. I don't know. Akil, you must be very eagerly looking at Sancho if you think he's put on weight, because I have not noticed that, but that's just me. Regarding the going missing, I will give you that one because I do think he needs to improve. He has to do more for me in 90 minutes. He has moments in games, similar to what we used to say about other players. But he hasn't really impacted games as much as I would like personally. But I think that's more of a team thing rather than just a Sancho thing. Like, I don't think it's just Sancho. I think it's a team thing. Every single player is doing the same thing. We're not really controlling the games the way I would personally like. If we were controlling the games, you know, with the possession, etc., and then this was a case, then I would be a bit more worried. But at the moment, we're still kind of figuring out how Ten Hag wants to play. And like I said earlier, I think Sancho is still struggling with fitness. Not as an excuse. I'm just saying he hasn't been able to. He hasn't got to grips with Ten Hag's intensity levels because he has to keep getting subbed off in the 50-60th minute. So he still needs to improve that aspect of his game. And hopefully, you know, with time, these guys have started to improve once they get more familiar with what Ten Hag is asking from him. And as I've already said, Antony coming in will hopefully what's the word? Invigorate some of the other players currently there. More pressure, 4 positions is only a positive at Manchester United. But listen, there we go. Antony has signed for Manchester United. Fabrizio Romano has said it himself. Here we go. The signing itself, 84 million, 100 million euros, whatever you want to call it. It is overpriced without a shadow of a doubt. But I believe it's up to 2026 with the potential to extend to 2027. Me personally, to conclude, I'm absolutely overjoyed by the signing. If you know me, you know that I've wanted this player for a while, and I'm absolutely buzzing and excited to see what he can do. And in a Manchester United shirt, James saying Gakpo next, absolutely. Just before I go, regarding Dubravka, no comment. I don't want Dubravka at all. I do not want Dubravka at all, but it looks like that might be happening as well. But listen, we will be back tomorrow, 7 o'clock. I don't know what I'm talking about at the moment. It might be Manchester United. It might be covering the weekend results. We'll have to wait and see. But please, please, please do slap a like on the video. It helps massively, more than you know. And of course, subscribe to the channel. Feel free to follow me on all my socials. Osman Talks United, or Talk United, as you can see right here. So feel free to follow me on socials, on TikTok and Twitter. It's the exact same. Obviously, subscribe to the channel. We are back with the regular content, hopefully tomorrow, 7 o'clock, inshallah. And obviously, we take it one day at a time. Just the last comment here. De Jong on the bench again for Barca after everything they did to him. If he still takes a pay cut and stays there, then maybe play with it. Absolutely. But listen, Ten Hag wanted him. So for me, I wanted him as well. It would have been an absolutely phenomenal signing alongside Casemiro. I'm not happy with the midfield still. I thought we were piss poor, but that's just my personal opinion. Anyways, enough of that. It's been your boy, man. Hopefully, he'll be back tomorrow, 7 o'clock. Stay tuned for that one. Apart from that, see you.